So welcome everyone. We're today talking how to live our most longest and happiest lives. And I'm actually really inspired today by Dan Buettner. Now, he's got a lot of series online, I think even one on Netflix, and he's written many books all about blue zones. So how we can live, well, hopefully past 100. He researches, his whole life work is about researching these places around the world where there's the most amount of centenarians, people that live over 100. And I'm so passionate about this because it's very simple stuff, and it's things that a lot of these things that I'm going to list today are free to us as well. And it's all about, so I'll start anyway. Top one is moving naturally throughout your day. Okay, this is the top one. So in a lot of these countries he actually researched a lot of places like in Italy and Japan where people were having to walk to work or walk to visit family, and a lot of people weren't driving in cars or sitting and doing the normal 9 to 5. They were always getting periods of movement throughout the day. And I'll list some of the places later, some of the countries that he talks about. But actually, my dad lives in one of them, over in Naples in Florida is a blue zone, because honestly, when I go and visit, everyone is just walking.
Very active.
They don't drive much, and it's like they're always on the beach. When I go and visit with the kids, they're all actively, I'm talking 70, 80-year-olds doing, weights. They've got little weights set on the beach. They're walking up and down. They're running.
The environment that you live in really can support or provide little obstacles, can't it?
Massive. But we can start to adapt that into our life. So
Absolutely.
Just making choices. Can we walk to work? Can we just get up and don't take the lift, but never take the lift? Choose to
always take the step.
Just little things we can incorporate into our day. So it says here as well, it's not all about going to the gym. These people that are centenarians generally don't go to the gym, which I find interesting. They integrate walking and movement, gardening, manual labour. So a lot of them carry on working because they do what they love. They carry on working till later on in life. So there's some really interesting stories. You'll have to go watch his program, it's incredible. Okay, number 2. I think you'll love this one, Lou, as well. Having a sense of purpose.
That is so important.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah. If you haven't got a sense of purpose, you just feel lost. And then your mental health starts to spiral, everything.
We all need that purpose in our life. So purpose is key. He calls it, I hope I'm saying this right, Okinagians. No, I'm not saying it right. Where is it they do Ikigai, the concept?
Oh, okay.
I can't say the word. Okiwayans. Yeah, maybe. Wow. Anyway, they refer to, or other places like in Costa Rica, they call it like the pura vida, like the purpose of life. I'm just trying to get it across. Or the Ikigai, is it in like Japan and China and different places. It's like you have that essential purpose that you're always stemming back to. So knowing your purpose can add up to 7 years onto your life expectancy. Wow. It's that simple,
So many people in the Western world as well don't have that. They're just working the 9 to 5 jobs in places that they don't love. They've not got that passion every day. They're just doing it for the paycheck.
And if you feel like that is you, there's so much more you can do as well, because you could still be working that, you could slightly bring down your hours, but just gently start to do a little side hustle. Like start small, just say, I'm gonna host an event once a month, or I'm gonna just do a webinar once a month and start attracting a new audience. There's so much you can do for this. Okay, number 3, managing stress with daily rituals. So this is key. A lot of them have these daily plans to help stop leading their body into inflammation and disease, okay? So we've talked about this in many of our episodes and different things before, but like daily rituals, like just getting up in the morning, getting fresh air, going for a walk, or living somewhere, which is so beautiful about some of these countries I'll touch on in a minute, is where you can just go to the beach and jump in the sea, But I remember going to visit these guys in Ireland, and they jump in the sea every morning, even though it's freezing cold. So that doesn't stop us. We can jump in the shower.
I used to have cold showers every day. I need to start doing that. That ritual makes me feel alive.
But it's also what they say is, interestingly, they're very ritualized. So their days, they do time management very well. So things like naps, interesting enough, prayer, socializing, or simply just slowing down. So they have set plans for their whole day, and they time manage well, you know, these people.
Do you know what, it is interesting, especially when you say like the naps, because I think at certain parts of the year, I feel like a lot of humans do feel like they need that time to hibernate in the day.
Yeah.
Over the beginning of this winter, when my little boy was still napping, I was having a nap every single day, and I could not get through the day without it.
It's so important, like this. I mean, I don't usually have time for it, but I wish I could. But again, I need to look at my life and go, can you incorporate some of this in the winter months?
Yeah.
Because actually, in like, look at like when I went to Ibiza recently, they have the siesta, don't they?
Siestas.
And all the shops close from like 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's like they just stop it in their society. So actually, we can all choose to go live there.
Yes.
I wish we could. But we could, even if it for you, it could be that you incorporate in a yoga nidra. Because actually, yoga nidra meditations, which if you don't know, they're like visualizations that you listen to, that can give you the alternative of 3 hours sleep, it said. Like
yes,
it gives you the same amount.
Rest. It really balances the nervous system and resets everything. So it is just as powerful as having a nap. And
it's interesting, like, because there's this incredible community. Actually, I'll come to them later. I'll tell you more about the places. But Linda, I don't know. I'll tell you that later. I'm getting excited now. So number 5, eat mostly a plant-based diet. This is probably not a favourite. So it's actually been shown that plant-based diets are the best for stopping people getting chronic illness, diseases. I mean, the stuff that we consume today in the modern world, what is in meat, it's packed full of hormones, and even like fish, a lot of these are sadly on horrible farms where they get cross-contamination and all of this. So there's a lot of pollutants that are going into our food. Very important obviously to eat organic, but over that it said just stick with a very simple plant-based diet. So not any of these fake meats and things. It's because
that's where your inflammation comes from, and all disease comes from inflammation.
And so it's saying beans, lentils, whole grains and vegetables form the foundation of the Blue Zone diets. So a lot of these places, when these people live over 100, I have to stress that they are not financially really wealthy. They are eating simple, affordable foods. And so it just shows you we don't need to be spending loads on this fake steak. Even though like it could be tasty for a one-off, actually focus on the basics in your cupboard: beans, lentils, legumes. Maybe switch that meat out to just do a lentil bolognese, or you know, it's so simple.
You can make them so delicious as well if you use the right spices and give them that really amazing flavour. You don't miss out on it,
and you save so much money a week if you just make that one switch. It's crazy. So that's really interesting because there's so much research. I won't go too much into plant-based diets. I could talk all day on it. Number 6 is drinking alcohol in moderation. So many Blue Zones cultures drink small amounts of wine daily, particularly in Sardinian. They have this lovely wine which is rich in antioxidants. And alcohol is always consumed only socially and with meals. So I think this is quite interesting because obviously we live in a world where it's usually drank late at night or when people are out. And I actually think there is a time for alcohol when you're socialising and having things like wine and drinks that are like full of antioxidants.
Yeah, but not coming home after a really tough day at work and cracking open a kind of lager.
On your own,
on your own, sat watching Netflix or vodka and tonic or something that's just full of poison.
Exactly.
I mean, difference.
I don't really drink, but I would say if you could, just drinking when you're with people is the best thing, like just to not do it at home, because it is like a bit of a, I see it like a bit of an antidepressant. You know, like it kind of takes that edge off, but it's kind of, see it as more of a social thing, right? 7, prioritise family and social connection. So we've touched on this a lot. It's all about having a sense of belonging, community. Strong family ties and regular social engagement improve mental and physical health. And in Blue Zones, older adults often live with or near their families. So this is really important. We've touched on like with tribes, coming together. Something that we find harder in this day and age, but we need to start making more effort to see.
It's not part of our culture, our tradition. You know, you go to other parts of the world and they're like, "That yes, I live with my parents, that's what we do."
It's just normal.
Some of my friends that live locally to me, they are an absolutely beautiful family. They've got 6 kids between them. They live with their parents, but the support between them is amazing. They live in a beautiful big house because there's more income. They don't have to stress over childcare because the grandparents are there and they all alternate, and it's just a beautiful community.
I wish we had more of that. Like I do feel that, you know, and I think so many people I know who, because I was a doula and like birth worker, if they're like Chinese or Indian and different cultures. They come and live with them for the first like 60 days or 40 days. There's a tradition where the mum should do nothing and not lift too much and should just lie in bed and rest. I'm like, yes, please.
Really good if you love your mother-in-law.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine if you didn't and she came to live with you.
Do everything. Well, that takes some
I'd be like, yeah.
service.
I mean, I'm really lucky, but imagine if you didn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, there's so much more. So number 8 is belong to a spiritual community as well. So having things, or a faith-based community. And I think that's really key. We've touched on, we've talked about the power of community. It's so powerful. It's all that we're about. So yes, and I wanted to kind of give you some facts and figures of where are these blue zones, right? Where are they?
Yeah,
where should we go and move to, right? So Dan Buehner's research, it was in collaboration with the National Geographic Institute of Aging, identified 5 regions where people consistently live past 100, and this is it. So we've got, for number 1 is, this is the word I can't say, Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, it's in Japan.
Yeah, so
okay.
Okinawan women have the longest life expectancy in the world, and their diet is high in sweet potatoes, tofu, green tea, and seaweed.
Wow.
Seaweed is one of the best foods to eat, rich in iodine, and we're all very low in iodine, I think. The lifestyle, they follow the Harahashi Bu diet, eating 80% full, like I think plant-based foods, and strong social support groups called MOAs. Number 2, Sardinia, Italy, Sardinia has the highest concentration of male centenarians, and their diet is Mediterranean based with whole grains, vegetables, beans, and goat's milk. Interesting. Their lifestyle is daily movement through shepherd herding and close-knit community living. So they all live together as well, which is
Italian.
Yes. Number 3, in Costa Rica, of course, and Nicoya Peninsula, is the fact is people here have a 4 times greater chance of reaching 90 compared to Americans. How mad's that? 4 times more likely. So they eat, again, beans, corn, squash, and tropical fruits. So a strong sense of purpose, where they talk about the Pura Vida, and access to calcium-rich water.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Number 4, so we've got, we've got 5 altogether. So we've got, in Greece, Icaria, and they live 8 to 10 years longer than Americans, with nearly 0 dementia and lower rates of heart disease.
Well, that is a powerful statistic, isn't it?
So it's actually, they say, rich in olive oil. Now there's a lot of debate.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. When you said the Italians, I thought they were going to mention the olive oil because of the Mediterranean diet. And there is a lot of debate over this because you do say the more, some say, the more olive oil you take, the better things are, and then some argue against it.
Well, I think olive oil is not good to cook, like,
if you get to a high temperature, that's it. They pour it on their salad and it's cold and it's moving shot it.
When we did a cooking course in Greece, it was like just making the salad dressings, all fresh, lemons, and it's got me like, I really need to up my whole foods. Like, it's so important. And with the oils, it's so important. So they also have wild greens, herbal teas, and beans, and they have a lot of afternoon naps, low stress, and community engagement. Lovely. Number 5, this is the one I found the most interesting actually. So this is in Loma Linda. Have we heard of this place in California?
Oh.
It's so interesting because it's like just a really busy place in California. You've got this big road that's literally, like on the other side there's like a big McDonald's, all this like big, Target, and then you go across and they've got this massive community. I mean, it's huge. And what they have is university there, hospitals, everything. But everyone seems to live over 100. Now, it's one of the most researched towns or cities, I think it is, in the world because everyone is vegetarian, okay? So they all eat plant-based foods, and they all, the like rates of, I think he did most of his research here because it was like easy to measure people. They all play like regularly, like paddle board, and the paddle.
Always active,
very active. But there's so many, like when you watch the documentary, there's 100-year-olds there playing paddle. It's incredible.
I bet the weather helps in these places as well, doesn't it?
But no, they have like rules in their society where they have to meet up for spiritual practice, because that's what I didn't say. They're a Seventh-day Adventists, and they live longer. So wait for this, 10 years longer than the average American.
Oh my God.
So yeah, plant-based diets, all of that. They have a weekly Sabbath and a rest day. So this was really important in the documentary.
Right.
They have to have a rest day, and they're not allowed to go on phones, read, even listen to music, I think it was.
Wow.
They have to just...
Well, that is a true reset then. So every single week you reset your nervous system.
Yeah.
Because just looking at your phone can just start to send you into fight and flight mode.
I think that's really interesting, like just the fact that you just have a switch off day. Maybe that's what we need to do.
No, we don't have time to have a switch off day.
We'll make the time. Okay, so that's the key things, and yeah, I hope that's been insightful, because I find it, go and watch the documentary, because I'm touching the surface, but it's really interesting watching people from these communities and how they're there like every day trekking up these hills and out in the cold water swimming, and
I'm so inspired right now.
yeah, you need to watch this, so I will
Brilliant.
leave you to
Thank
it.
you.